This is Pete Moore on Halo Talks NYC. I have the pleasure of bringing John Dwyer, better known as JD, one of the marketing gurus around the world, coming from Australia, one of the best dressed Halo Talks guests to date. And we've had about 600. So JD, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Pete. Yeah, I did dress up for the occasion.
We appreciate that. So why don't you give people some of your background before we riff here so they know, some of your legendary entrepreneurial ventures, and then to be in a place where, you're an authority and you can tell other people, hey, I've seen this movie before. Let me tell you how it's going to end, positively or negatively.
Gotcha. Yeah, look, Pete, I've been doing this, what we call direct response marketing stuff for a long time. I think I started back in the 1800s, as a matter of fact, and nothing really has changed. It's just a delivery platform. So whatever was working perhaps back with newspapers and magazines and TV stations and so forth, it's still working today. It's just that the platform might be, Facebook or Instagram. And the difference, I think, with what we do than what a traditional advertising agency does is that if you went into an advertising agency, they'll probably tell you that they're going to help you get people to fall in love with your brand so that they'll taste your product. This direct response stuff, we flip that. We get them to taste your product so that they'll fall in love with your brand. And that's very different. Yeah, so there's none of this face on the side of a bus or back of a taxi or sponsoring the local baseball team without getting any data. Ours is very, very measurable.
Yeah. And also, you obviously can live and die, in a positive way, keeping accounts because you're delivering an ROI basically on the entire campaign. There's a lot of advertising dollars that still gets wasted in this economy. I'm shocked by some of it because there's not a lot of accountability on behalf, and there's excuses or it'll happen in the long term. How many times does somebody need to see it? 22 times, I think. Or they buy 22 times a week.
And Pete, I've got 6 millennials, and so therefore they are not real keen on my sarcasm when I'm having a shot at millennials. But if you walk into a digital marketing agency and the bearded hipster tells you, "Look, we're going to sponsor the local baseball team and we're going to put your face on the side of a bus," I would run the other way. Unless you're Coca-Cola. I mean, Coca-Cola and Kellogg's and Nike, they can afford to throw it up against the wall and not have any measurability. But if you go home tonight and say to the kids, "Look, Daddy got 150 likes today," the kids are probably going to say, "But Daddy, there's no food on the table."
Right. So what have been some of your strategies that have proliferated and now it's kind of people come to you because they heard that one of their, friends or someone in their network is optimizing their revenue, with kids too?
Well, Pete, I had a look at Halo and what you guys do, and there's a lot of similarities in that I'm sure you have lots of people around you over the years say, "Look, I've got an idea." And of course, that's great. You want ideas people to be around you, but you want them to be practical ideas. You want them to be ideas that are going to bring home the bacon. And I think that's where we specialize. And, I know that you're in the I'm not going to say wellness industry because I know your opinion on that.
It's okay now.
But, you're in the industry with regards to fitness and good health and so forth. And I would imagine that most fitness centres, we call them gymnasiums down under, but most would be spending a lot of money on Facebook and other, social media. And probably, spending money with lead generation companies to get people to be interested in membership. We've got some gymnasiums here in Australia at the moment where we're getting leads for them on Facebook for between $1 and $5. And these people are normally paying anywhere between $50 and $150 to a leads company.
Yep.
And by the way, they're paying that to a leads company, and the leads company gives that lead to 2 other competitors, which is crazy. And how we do it, and I'd invite anyone to steal this idea and just swipe it. I mean, you can use us if you wanted to, but you can swipe the idea. And that is just hold a contest on Facebook and give away a 6 or 12-month membership. And anyone who enters that contest obviously is interested in, better health and losing weight or whatever it might be. So therefore, of course, you give one of those prizes away, but you've got 99.9% of them that you can then follow up and say, "Look, you didn't win, but we've got a special deal on at the moment because you wouldn't have entered the contest if you're not interested in getting, healthier." And they're bringing in, we had one last week. He started on Tuesday, and by the following Monday, he spent it was about $50 a day on Facebook, and we ran a contest to win this prize. He had 1,000 leads in the first week. I mean, we're not talking 12 or 15 or 20 leads. This is blowing their mind. And of course, when they can't get back to them, we just put an AI robot onto phoning up the other people and offering them membership.
a lot of the ideas that work in marketing and sales and behavior have been the same for hundreds of years. And I think we used to work with Gold's Gym, and Gold's Gym used to have the 90-day body transformation challenge. And that would bring a significant amount of leads into the clubs, as well as people that, bought a membership after their initial free period. And then they ran away from that challenge, and they ran away from some of these campaigns, and just focused on brand building, which really was not, bringing the traffic in the door. But what you're talking about here about doing a contest, there aren't that many health clubs that I know of that are running those types of, easy, simple, one-on-one type of campaigns. We work with a company that I'll tell you about after the show, but a company called Promotion Vault. And what they do is they put gift card incentives up when people drop out of either trying to fill out a referral, booking a personal training session, showing up for an evaluation. So every time there's a pain point, throw an incentive at it and just keep that membership going, or that lead into the next phase. So what have you been doing? Yes,
Pete, I'm glad you brought up the word incentive, because a big part of direct response marketing is incentives. And we teach people to put their McDonald's hat on and provide Happy Meal toys to their prospects, because I've got 6 kids. As I said, they're all grown up and adults these days, but we had 6 under 12 at one stage. And I think throughout that period, we gave McDonald's about $8 billion. Had nothing to do with the hamburger. It was all about the free toys. So the reason we suggest to people to go down the incentive marketing path is because really it takes their eyes off the price. That's what you want.
Yep, exactly. So what have you been doing in and around our sector? So you've got some gymnasiums down in Australia, but are there other companies that you can disclose?
Yeah, one that's been very, very successful for gymnasiums. And in fact, it's one of the 5 industries that we target. So it's ironic that you were kind enough to invite me onto your program, because it is, one of the 5 industries that we target. When I did a campaign for a bank down under some years ago, we got this bank an extra 15 billion, not million. We're talking about Australia, which is the population of California, by the way. So We've got the same land mass as you, but we've got a tiny population of 26 million. So 15 billion in home loans over a few years is pretty big time. All we did is that we stopped the honeymoon rate that most banks give. So if you go and get a home loan from the bank, and let's say the interest rate was 6%, they'll give it to you for 5% for the first year. And so therefore we said, well, okay, let's give that 1% to a travel discount company. And what we did is we came on television and we said, and social media, and said, swap your home loan from the Wells Fargo or the Bank of America, come across to this bank and we'll give you a free vacation. The thing went nuts, absolutely nuts. And as you know, you're probably going to ask the question, but I got Jerry Seinfeld to do the ad. So you put Seinfeld with a free vacation, and of course it went mad.
Yeah. How did you pull that? How did you pull that off? Just
look, persistence beats intelligence. I just annoyed George Shapiro, his manager, for 6 months, and eventually Jerry gave in. I said to Jerry, "Why did you say yes?" Because I had to fly backwards and forwards to New York all the time, and and do the ads. And he said, well, 2 reasons, JD. Number one, I liked the sense of humour that you had behind this. You were going to take the piss out of the banks, and I take the piss for a living. And he said the second thing is that I thought if I didn't say yes, you'd never, ever go away. You're the most annoying person I've ever come across. So,
that's good marketing.
Yeah, persistence beats intelligence.
Yeah.
But to answer your question, what happened is that went mad. And after that, we got into bed with a travel discount company. And what we do now is that we provide gymnasiums and fitness centres with Exhibit A, these things, which are vacation vouchers. Nice. And what they do is that they say, look, join my gymnasium. Instead of giving up the first month membership, which of course every gymnasium does, or every fitness centre, they replace that by saying, join my fitness centre and I will give you a free vacation to Disney World, New York, Orlando, all the hotspots. And we give these vacation vouchers to them for $50. So they've got $1,000 reward, but they're paying $50 for it. And the reason the hotels are involved is because outside school vacations, they've got 30-40% empty rooms, and they're happy to give those rooms up for free in the hope that whoever stays there is going to spend money on food and beverage. So that's why
they actually get it for free. That's impressive.
Yeah, free. Yeah, wow. So you go to Disney World for 3 nights, free, absolutely free.
Yeah. So health clubs historically, say, no initiation fee, first month free. When we started working with Promotion Vault and said, look, don't give away that amount because it's similar to when you buy a TV back in the day at like a Circuit City and they said it's a $200 rebate, but you have to go through the mail. You have to put that process together. You have to fill out the forms. You have to get it there, and then you never even knew if it came back in the mail anyway. But they were able to market that up front. So promotion vault is basically trying to say, don't give away your own product because you're losing the revenue. The one thing that I want to question you about is, even though the client is doing direct response and knows how much revenue, potentially knows how much revenue they're getting, and they look at the size of the budget or what they're paying you, do they sometimes like pop their eyes and forget how much revenue and the return that was on that promotion? Because that's something I'm running into right now.
Sure.
A couple things.
Yeah, because what happens is that within a month or two of a wild success, they forget that you even exist because it was their idea. It was their idea.
Right. Of course.
Now that didn't happen with this bank down under. It was called the Greater Bank. It didn't happen with them. They were a client for 11 years, and the reason that they were paying me $34,000 a month, which is a nice client to have, and I kept on saying to them, "Why are you paying me this money?" Because they kept on putting the price up, which is very, very unusual. It was almost a Seinfeld episode by itself. And I said, "Why are you doing this?" And they said, "We don't know what's going to come out of your backside next week because you're an idea. So we don't want you to go to the opposition."
Wow. So you had to you were paid for a non-compete without asking for it.
Sort of. But you know what? I've sort of come from a background where you jump on something that's hot. So, when the Ninja Turtles were hot, I would take the license out and I would do all the bubblegum cards and I'd do all the books, And Disney, of course, is evergreen. So therefore I'd take out the licenses for Beauty and the Beast and The Lion King and Little Mermaid and all of that stuff. So I do all the children. In fact, I've got Exhibit A here. I brought this up just in case.
What company was this under?
This here is upside down, but this here is a Disney poster. So therefore, what we did is that we took out a license with Disney. We put all the characters on the one sheet, and then that became a giveaway for that particular business, which of course is it's a Disney poster from heaven. Nobody's ever seen all the characters in one poster, and it would work for any business. Even a gymnasium, join my gymnasium and get this unbelievable Disney poster that's not available in Kmart. So what I would do is I'd jump onto all of these things that were a fad at the time. Not that Disney's a fad, but certainly a lot of the other things are. It could be a skateboard, it could be anything. And if you jump on that, then what you're doing is borrowing the equity that someone else has paid a lot of money to create.
Gotcha. When you say you're buying the license, you bought the license for the art, not for like a territory.
For both. So therefore, I take out, in Disney's instance, I take out the license for the Little Mermaid or Lion King or whatever it may have been, for bubblegum cards and for storybooks and for caps and maybe for T-shirts. And so therefore, that territory would be Australia. If I wanted to take out another territory, then you paid more money. Right. But the way I look at it is that Disney have spent a lot of money and a lot of years building up a huge equity value of their property. So why not give them 10%? And it saves me having to draw up a new cartoon character.
Yeah, totally. The one thing on those contracts, as you've, over time, have you been better able to forecast what the opportunity is? So if there's a minimum that they try and push into the deal, that you kind of know what your high watermark is?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, look, Zuckerberg, moves the goalpost every day, as you know. So therefore, it's very hard to predict your CPL. But yeah, most of the time you can. I mean, this contest formula that we've got, we only launched that 6 months ago. And Pete, this sounds like this seems a ridiculous boast. But in all the years that I've been doing this, I've never had a 100% success rate with ideas because obviously some are good, some are not. In that instance, this contest formula brings a red-hot lead because they won't enter the contest to win a gymnasium membership unless they want to lose weight and get fit. We haven't had a failure. It's 100% success rate, and we're talking about leads, $1 to $5 a lead, and that depends on the business. We have a Hawaiian tree trimming business. He only wants to advertise in 4 zip codes. So therefore, his leads are going to be more likely $9, which is still good, by the way, compared to a fitness centre that would get a lead for maybe $1 or $2. So yeah, I have to say to you that most of the time you can have a rough prediction of what the result would be. But even me, this thing, the leads formula on Facebook, I never in my wildest dreams imagined that it would just be almost infallible. It just works every time.
Mm-hmm. And then when you're set up with a client, are you inside of all their marketing? Are you using are you publishing for them? Are you having access to their member data? Because there's sometimes a wall that kind of occurs where people feel like, hey, we want to manage this. You give us the content. There are others that want to just outsource it. It kind of ebbs and flows, I think, over time.
Yeah.
Right now, I think people are trying to get some of their proprietary data back that they maybe thought, they owned or shared or what have you. I don't know what you're saying.
Well, because I moved from the corporate sector where I was doing McDonald's and KFC and 7-Eleven and all those sorts of things, and about 10 years ago, I moved away from that sector and moved more over into the small to medium-sized sector. So most of our clients are doing south of 3 or 4 million, and so they don't really have the budget to put me inside their business like the bank did. Okay, with the bank, yes, I was inside their business. I'd visit them once every week and all the stuff that goes on with the consultancy. So what we do with the smaller businesses, because they don't have the budget to pay the likes of me and you probably, then what we do is provide them with the package promotion. So we do it all for them. We manage the campaign, we put the concept together, we do all the artwork. Or should I say ChatGPT does all the artwork. And so we do it all for them. So we promote ourselves as being an instant fix that's an external supplier. We don't get involved in their business too much. We just give it to them and say, press the green button.
And then from a standpoint of winning clients, you've got a lot of stories, you've got a lot of successes. How disappointed are you sometimes in the fact that, someone thinks this startup, marketing digital firm with 20 people in a high loft is somehow qualified to, take on certain budgets? So how do you kind of compete with that or like digest it?
Yeah, well, the thing is that when you've got a few wrinkles and you get to my age, I'm a baby boomer, then of course you're up against the young kids that are the marketing experts in their bedrooms with a green screen behind them that shows an office. And so I just figured that the best way to combat that, and keep in mind I've got 6 millennials, so they keep me on my toes in terms of being the old fart dad. I just always say to people, look, if you were getting a heart transplant, for your body, okay, you're looking for a heart transplant for your business, but if you're getting a heart transplant for your body, would you pick the kid that came out of medical school, a month ago and he's 25 years of age and he's still using pimple cream? Or would you pick the surgeon that's done this in his sleep for the last 40 years? And of course, there you go. So I always say to them, look, with wrinkles comes wisdom. And if you're looking for someone that's done this a million times before, then you knock on our door. If you want to roll the dice, then go and talk to a 25-year-old. Yeah.
Gotcha. And then what are your operations like in the U.S. For people that are listening to this podcast?
Yeah, we have an office in Las Vegas. There's only one person operating out of that office, so therefore, obviously, we're mainly in Australia. But it doesn't matter. I mean, when people say to us, look, I want 50 of your vacation vouchers because I want to give these away with a gym membership, we just say, good, we'll email them to you in about an hour's time, and you give us, $50 a voucher, and this is how you should run it. So we give them a online resource center where they get all the Facebook ads and the landing pages, and we help them through it, of course. But really, because it's not a consultancy agreement, we make sure we give them a done for you package. And it's the same with any of these. I mean, we have, we do a lot with Lloyd's of London, so therefore we've got fitness centres down under. They're saying, look, join my gymnasium and you've got the chance to win $1 million. We get $1 million for about 20 grand. That's the biggest. That's normally the big chains that do that. But yeah, we have a whole bunch of package promotions from gas discounts to win $1 million to not win a vacation. If you're going to get a vacation the reason the McDonald's toy works, they get that toy out of China for 20 cents, but in Kmart that's worth $5. So therefore, the reason that incentives work more than others is because it's a low cost, but it's a high perceived value. And if you are, for example, a fitness centre and you say, look, join my fitness centre and I'll give you a free vacation, stick with me for 6 months and I'll give you another free vacation, then, of course, that's worth $1,000, but it only costs them $50. So to the person that's joining the fitness centre, they get a $1,000 Happy Meal toy, but, of course, they don't know that the gymnasium's only paying $50 for it.
Yep. Excellent. Well, send us the results on that so we can post that with the show notes. One question I have for you before we close here is you've got a lot of wisdom. Sounds like you've raised, several children, and you're an educator at heart. Talk a little bit about the master classes or the seminars you're doing and how important is that to your the overall.
Sorry, Pete, talk about the master classes.
The master class and seminars that you're doing. Do you have like an educational seminar?
Oh, yeah. Well, mostly they're webinars these days. I mean, the only good thing that came out of COVID is that we're doing this more often these days. You don't have to jump in a plane and rent out a hotel room. And look, really what we teach people is how to stop marketing their business on price. it's problem solution marketing, but there's 5 components to this direct response stuff. Number 1, it's highlight their problem. Are you overweight? Number 2, it's aggravate the problem. Do you know that spring and summer is just around the corner? Do you want to look good in your swimsuit? Number 3, provide them with a solution, and that is join my gymnasium or go on this fitness program or this diet program. Number 4, provide proof, which of course is testimonials, and I've seen your website. You've got millions of them, Mm-hmm. And then number 5, a strong CTA, a strong call to action. And normally it's number 5 where they fall down. They might tick the problem solution boxes, but the call to action is weak. And that's where the incentive-based marketing comes in, because you can imagine with the Facebook contest formula, if you get, let's say, 300 leads this week and you contact the 299 people who didn't win, and you say to them, look, you obviously want my product or service because you entered the contest for this, we've got a special deal for you. If that special deal is not good, then you've just let yourself down because you've paid, albeit a lot less CPL than most of the times, but you've just attracted 299 people and you haven't got a good call to action. What we do is we say, look, call them and say to them, look, you didn't win our gym membership, but guess what? If you get in by Friday, we will give you a free vacation. So therefore, we actually use the Happy Meal toy as a close.
Yep. Like it. So look, welcome officially to the Halo sector. Appreciate you using the acronym. We'll dress up for you. My partner, Dave Ganlon, is going to love the fact that you said CTA at the end, because it reminds me all the time. Every time I produce something, he's like, there's no CTA. You're my CMO. I'm the CMO here. I'm supposed to tell you this. And I said, okay, fine. Sorry. So, well, look, I think a lot of your ideas and actions, it doesn't matter, what the distribution platform is. Like, the ideas need to just be executed upon and shared properly. So I look forward to helping you get into the U.S. market broader. We'll make some introductions. And, if you're on the stateside, we'll see you soon. And if I'm in Australia with the Greg Oliver at any point, if he invites me, or Emmett Williams, or 2 guys that I'm sure you know or need to know, I'll see you down there. I'll do some seminars.
Have you been down under, Pete?
I'm not yet. No, I did go on a Kentucky tour when I was in college, though, so I met a lot of Australians through that pursuit. I feel like in closing this podcast, Ganlon and I just bought whatever you were selling. We're taking all the incentives. We're booking our trip, and we'll get you the credit card. Okay, what do you need? Tell us where to send it.
Awesome. But Pete, hurry while stocks last, all right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's only a finite amount of hotels that are seeking some guests. All right, awesome. All right, JD, good to meet you, man. Thanks, Kevin.
Look forward to it. All the best, guys.
This is Pete Moore on Halo Talks, your captain speaking. I am the founder and managing partner at Integrity Square. We've been around now for 15.5 years. We have been helping people like yourselves get capital, do mergers and acquisitions, consulting, strategic advice in the health, active lifestyle, and outdoor Halo sector, trying to help as many entrepreneurs as possible get to the next level, take that inflection point, and be the force behind your growth. We are helping companies that have at least $3 million of EBITDA, around $10 million of revenue, and we are positioned to help you get institutional growth capital or to negotiate deals with strategic partners. If you go to integritysq.com/ISQ, you can see our capabilities deck. Happy to set up a consultation at any time. That is free of charge, and we look forward to helping solve obesity, loneliness, and diabetes. Go Halo.